Hi everyone, this is AJ. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new Star Trek video. Yes, Star Trek Day today, so I thought I would show all of my collection of Star Trek Blu-ray discs. Not DVD, because there are a load of them and it'll make it even bigger, but just the Blu-ray. So let's get into it. Okay, so, alright. September the 8th, 1966 is when Star Trek first started on TV, that original series. So September the 8th is Star Trek Day. And to be honest, this day could have passed itself by without me even knowing. But Matt told me, Matt V's Movies told me, hey, it's Star Trek Day. And he put up a video. Now, I was up at about 3 o'clock this morning. So this afternoon, I've had a power dose for 3 hours. And I bloody dreamt that I was doing a video of my Steelbooks and my collection, and so now I've got to do it. Well, I was humming and hawing. Should I, shouldn't I? Should I, shouldn't I? What should I do?
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it! Okay. Do it. Do it.
So, anyway, here I am. So, I'm going to adjust the camera. I'm going to go through what I've got with a little blurb, with each one. All right? So, yes, let's just do it.
Make it so.
Okay, so first up, here we go. So I'm going to start with the movies. So first off, I have this Star Trek, the original motion picture collection. All the first 6 Star Trek films that were released in this lovely box, like so, which has a sort of lenticular on the front there. Now, these are actually the 4Ks in here for the first 4 anyway, because I got the release a while ago. I wasn't happy with it, but before I sent it back, I'd done a switcheroo of the discs and no one ever noticed. So I've just got to get discs films 5 and 6 now, and there we go. So moving on, then we have the 4 Next Generation era films, from Generations through to Nemesis, in the same style release, which is really nice, again with a lenticular image on the front of the ship. Now, unfortunately with this one, it got hit by a BB bullet there and broke part of the plastic. There we go, unfortunate, but there we go, what can we do? Then I have this release of the Kelvin Timeline movies. Now you're going to see these movies, not just this, the others come up quite a few times because I think I've got them 3 or 4 times actually. But there we go. So Star Trek, the Kelvin Timeline, Star Trek, Into Darkness, and Star Trek Beyond, for the 3 of them. Great stuff. So I'm going to move on to Steelbooks now, and why not? So, first up, and you'll find that these are all sealed because I collected them rather cheap when they went down in price. But I never opened them because I had the other ones to watch. So the first up is Star Trek the Motion Picture in this 50th anniversary Steelbook set. So if they do go ahead and release Steelbooks for the complete series again in 4K, I won't be getting them because I have these and they have the movie artwork on them. Then we have Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan. This was the last one I managed to acquire, but I managed to get it for 18 quid, even when it was up in price quite large. And then we have Star Trek, The Search for Spock.
Bring on bastard, you've killed my son.
On a rewatch, I didn't mind this film. I know it gets a bit of hate, but on a rewatch of all of these, this film came in above Star Trek 4 for me.
Scotty, beam me up.
Yes, Star Trek 4 unfortunately is somewhat dated, and Star Trek 3 over time for me has grown to be a better film than this one. But this one is certainly a lot of fun. Then we have Star Trek 5, probably my least watched Star Trek movie. Directed by Shatner himself. It didn't have the budget for what it wanted to do. Then we have a return to form with Nicholas Meyer's Star Trek 6. Nicholas Meyer having directed The Wrath of Khan. the best Star Trek movie in most people's opinion.
Where's that damn torpedo?
Ready, Jim! Lock and load!
Fire!
Lovely Steelbook for that. Then we have Generations, and I really enjoy Generations. It's probably my favourite of the Next Generation era movies. Honestly, it is. It's the one that's most filmic, certainly. I know most people would go with First Contact. I don't mind First Contact. It's good fun, but it does feel somewhat TV. There's certain elements of the humour and the acting. Just doesn't... The Next Generation cast, as much as I like them, they work better on TV than they did in film. That's my opinion. Then we have Star Trek Insurgents, another film not visited too often. I remember seeing all these at the cinema. And Star Trek Nemesis, another one not often visited, with Tom Hardy. And the film got scared to kill off Data. It killed off Data, but didn't kill off Data. Because they couldn't, they didn't want to upset people too much, and that bothered me. Didn't have the kahunas to do it. Then we have a Steelbook for Star Trek, the first one. And I have 2 Steelbooks, actually, for Into Darkness, for some odd reason. I think one of them came with a spaceship, and then another one I managed to get cheap. I'm not sure which way round that worked for me. So that's that. Continuing with Steelbooks, we have Star Trek Beyond. And again, all these are sealed because I can watch them in other ways. Like so. Yeah, Star Trek Beyond. Then we have Star Trek Discovery, Season 1. Discovery Season 2. These are sealed. I picked these up cheap because I had the other releases as well. My favourite season of Star Trek Discovery, primarily for Anson Mount, is Christopher Pike. And then we have Star Trek Picard Season 2, Steelbook, like so. Yep. And also Star Trek Lower Decks, the comedy series.
I really gotta think of something cool to say when we're going to war. Something like, it's warp time. What do you think of that? Is that good for you?
Which I really enjoy. I think it is fabulous. So that's it for Steelbooks. So I will return to the arena of collector's editions momentarily after I get through this lot. So I have this release of Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, the director's cut, on Blu-ray. Then we have Star Trek Season 1, the complete series, that 1966 season that kicked things off. And with that, Star Trek 2, front and back. And then Star Trek 3, like so and like so. And then with a lovely slipcover, Star Trek the Animated Series, which is collected on 1, 2, 3 discs in there with the original voice cast. So I really could look at it like Season 4, but in animation form. And even though I had these... Nope, sorry, I haven't got there yet. So next up we have Enterprise Season 2. Now, actually, Season 1 of Enterprise is downstairs, so I won't run down and grab it. I'll just continue as is. But I was watching Season 1 of Enterprise. With a nice metallic slip, and Season 1 has got a slip as well. And then Season 3 of Star Trek Enterprise. And I quite enjoyed this series. I'll give you my sort of thoughts on the series overall at the end. That's Season 4, how I like the Star Trek series. And then we have this release of Star Trek Discovery. And that's Season 1. Season 2, again, opens up like that. I did get these first, but then I got the Steelbooks cheaper. But I didn't get the Steelbook for Season 3. And Season 3 is actually still sealed. Yeah, not my favourite Star Trek series by any means. And then we have Star Trek Picard Season 1 with a slip. Like so. And Star Trek Short Treks, which were fun, but they should have been just extras on a Discovery thing. And Season 2 of Star Trek Lower Decks. Season 3 is airing at the moment. And again, I love it. I just love it. So let's get into some collector's editions, shall we? So first up is the Star Trek the motion picture set like this. And I'd done an opening for this the other day. It contains 3 versions of the original Star Trek film in 4K. You've got the original cut, theatrical cut, the director's cut, and a longer version, branched version, which was on TV. It does have 5 discs in here, 2 4Ks with 3 4K versions on, and 2 Blu-rays and a Blu-ray with bonus features on. And it's got a load of bump with it as well, with stickers and stuff like that. But you can go and view my opening for that. It was only a few days ago. And I did watch the film, and it holds up. It's, you know, I get why people think it's a boring film, but it's a thinking man's film, and it is bloody good. And then, last but not least, of this set of, again, Star Trek. I said the Star Trek films would come back a lot. I've got several versions of them, as you can see. And this special edition set here comes like so. And it opens up. And inside you have a poster of the Enterprise D. Or did I put this in? This was given to me by Matt over at Matt V's Movies. He sent me one of these posters because he had 2 of them. And then I went and got this because of Matt. So there's that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And some bonus discs at the back. So that's a really nice book style release. And also you do get within this one, you get a nice little patch to sew onto your jacket, if you're ever going to do that. You get an art card like so, and an art card. There's stuff on the back, there's images on the back, sort of production, you know. There's that one, with that on the back. And you get some film cells in there, which are lovely. And 1 for each film. And this lovely, lovely book. With a load of writing in, all about, bit about each film. So that's a fantastic, fantastic release. Okay, so there we go. That's my Star Trek releases on Blu-ray. No, I don't have the Next Generation on Blu-ray. My intent is to get it at some point. Just never got around to it. I do, however, have the DVDs of the Next Generation, of Deep Space Nine, of Voyager, and of Enterprise again, in them fantastic plastic boxes they done them in. Yeah, so again, fantastic set of films, a fantastic series of TV and film. There's so much of it, and yeah, it's good. Now, as for the TV series, you know, I'm talking about the TNG era kind of TV series. Obviously, the new series that we're getting, Discovery and Picard, are not much cop. They're not the greatest Star Trek. However, Strange New Worlds has elevated what Star Trek can be again, and given us some fantastic stories and episodes with a fantastic crew. My least favourite of the 4 TNG era series, so TNG, Deep Space Nine, Voyager and Enterprise. My least favourite is Voyager. It's the one that I never really connected to many of the cast on board. The characters, I just never got on with them. I mean, it did have an uptick when 7 of 9 came in. Obviously, she was a fantastic addition. But overall, it just didn't work for me. My favourite Star Trek series, en masse of everything, is actually Deep Space Nine. Not the Next Generation, as most people would probably cite. It's Deep Space Nine. That's the series that I gravitated towards. I like the darker tone, the sort of war motif, I enjoyed that, and Cisco really worked for me, and most of the cast worked for me. It is up there, you know, Next Generation is up there teetering with it, but for me, if I had to choose one of them and drop the other, I would be going with Deep Space Nine. That's just where my loyalty lies for Star Trek. I think it's a series that, you know, it was sort of black sheep of the family for a while. And I think over time people have come to realise on rewatches that, hold on a minute, this is a bloody good Star Trek series. It's the only series beyond Voyager that has really dared to give us a definitive, well, not even Star Trek Voyager didn't, but to give us an ending and have this massive story rolling through those last 10 episodes, the Dominion War and this sort of a thing. So for that, it was fantastic. And Voyager dropped the ball on that. They should never have brought the ship back in that final episode. They should have brought the ship back maybe 8 episodes before the end and then explored what it meant to come home and get home. Because you've got on board, you had the Marquis, yeah? You had a Borg drone, right? There was all these different elements that, you know, these were terrorists. The Marquis were terrorists. So how's that handled when they get back? The Doctor being a medical hologram, how's that handled? Do you know what I mean? All this stuff should have been explored and would have made for some fantastic storytelling in those last 8 episodes. But no, what they wanted to do was on that last episode, we're home, we're here, flags waving, all good. Well, what happens next? Too many questions are left unanswered. That was the primary issue. And yes, I know you can say now that Picard has answered some of them questions with the inclusion of 7 of 9, but what are you talking, nearly 30 years later? Please, come on. It should have been done then. We should have had those answers. Anyway, that was it. So that's my collection of Star Trek stuff for Star Trek Day. And I shall see you later. Take care all, and goodbye.